everyone, and welcome to the public stream today. We're doing the public Monday Open. How are you all going? I hope you're having a great day. You had a great weekend, and you're ready for OPEX week because we've got trillions of dollars at stake, and obviously that means that we need to be looking into the data. We need to be looking at the stocks, the commodities, and the cryptos. All the markets matter at the moment, including bonds markets. Today, we'll be breaking down our midterm thoughts in terms of what's going on right now. Then we'll go through some short-term strategies, and we'll still talk about whether we think long-term the US gets out of the calamity that could be coming. So, yeah, there's a lot to cover today. I hope you're all really excited for another Monday because we should, after this week, I don't know if we get through it this week, but after this week, get out of our trading range. And we'll be going through some of the strategies that we could employ. And obviously that will be very exciting. Let's give a shout out to a whole bunch of people that are joining here. I'm going to go up to the top. We've got Inf, Mickey, Darth, Fintech Shark. Fintech, shout out. Fintech's always been a very loyal supporter. I see you all on the Twitters as well. Louisa, Lillian, Hoddle, JJ, Gary, JJ Burgess, Oren, Navi, Conrad, Verified, and a whole bunch of others. So thank you very much for joining us here. It's going to be a good one. So SS says, hey, from Vegas, you got to join us in the Vegas conference. Of course, SS, that's going to be a big one over there. So make sure to come to the Vegas conference at the Win. Now, that's in September, by the way, if anyone's interested, www.fxevolution. We've got some amazing speakers coming, and I mean serious business. So if you are interested in joining us, great community. You know, trading can sometimes be a lonely thing. So we've all got to make sure that we kind of find some trade buddies and people of like minds. And that's the good thing about this community. It's a mixture of TA, a mixture of data, and a mixture of some common sense, hopefully, so we can cut through the crap. Yeah, and that's what we want to be doing. All right, let's begin here with the skew. So the skew is obviously a different kind of version of the VIX in some ways. It's showing us potential black swan events. Now, what's happening is the skew's rising, which generally, as long as it keeps rising, we don't usually see markets fall. And it's been doing this fairly consistently now for a couple of weeks. So we are looking at this now as one of the turning points potentially in the market. So let me just read back here a little while ago. So the skew back in 2022, obviously we have a nice run into April. Traditionally a great time to be in the markets. Mid-April rally into April, beautiful thing. Then all of a sudden the skew drops off a cliff. Around the start of April, we drop off. Now, if you watch the markets or you're in the markets around that time, we obviously declined. Then we saw a very similar thing. So what we looked for then was the skew to drop. Now, when the skew dropped, bad things happened. Over here, we have the 15th of August. Now, if you know anything about the 12th to the 15th of August, you would know that this was another huge rally in the markets that was then dropped by the skew. Now, I know for a fact on our channel, we got that hardcore. That was a very, very good shot. So what we're looking for here is we're obviously looking for the skew to actually drop off, markets potentially to keep rallying or stay sideways. And that for showing us basically there is basically like a bit of a crippling to the skew itself. And when you're in 140, you're in inverted commas, black swan skew territory. So that's what it's really finding. It's finding that black swan event. It's actually terrible at finding those. You can see previous periods what it's done, but it's the compression that we're looking for. We're looking for that compression. Notice here, what's this date? What's this date, guys? 29th of December. Look at it get crushed into the 7th of Jan. Well, we all know what happened a few days later. So we're looking for some skew crushing. And I think that you should have this on your chart and you should be paying attention to it over the next couple of weeks. Another thing I put in the weekend video, which is important for midterm traders more than anybody else, that is someone that's trading 1 to 3 months or trading at least more than a couple of weeks, I'd say 1 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, is that we're seeing the Dow Jones Transportation average, and we're also seeing the Dow itself going down multiple days in a row. Now, this is rare. Now, I know you could argue that's a long leg doji. It was kind of up for the day, but basically we saw 5 days down on both, and that's really rare. In fact, the other times we've seen that is 2020, and then we've also seen it in 2011. Now, 2011, what happened in 2011, everyone? Does anyone remember what happened in 2011? Greg Curtis says, "Oh yeah, I just joined and I heard Black Swan event. Don't worry, it's not Black Swan event. We haven't seen Black Swan event." Yeah. Good morning from Dallas. Hello, Richard. Good to have you here. And Louisa says, "I want to come to the Vegas conference." Well, if you're interested, you can go check that out. All right. Thank you very much as well. If you do smash that like button, does help us get that kind of algorithm thing floating around. So if you like the show, if you find value in it, then make sure to smash that like button. It's always excellent to do so. So also I notice here, if you look at this, it kind of looks like a head and shoulders. So we've got that left shoulder head, right shoulder breach underneath. Anybody? I would consider setting some alerts underneath this zone. I think that's going to be fairly important. If that tracks and we see bang straight through, that's going to be a bit of a problem. Anyway, 2011, people have forgotten what it was. It was the debt ceiling shenanigans that happened back in the day. And of course, we have debt ceiling shenanigans right now. Now, I think that we are pretty sure that they're going to come to a deal. But what I might do is I actually might go here. Now, when I say coming to a deal, it's very important that we state when are they going to come to the deal? Are they going to come on the 11th hour like last time, or are they going to come a little bit earlier? Just quickly fix this, guys. 1 second here. Just going to fix this stream. Just fixing this up. And we'll do a poll. Okay, let's get that poll going. Start poll. Okay. Do you think all right. Let's say before July. All right. I want your answers. Here we go. We're going to ask the poll right now. You guys vote, and you can get that going on here. Credit rating downgrades by Standard and Poor's. You would be correct in that statement. Yes, that was what actually happened there. All right. So we've got the poll going on. Let's look through some other kind of lead issues that are in the market. And then we'll talk about the bull and the bear case scenarios. So first up, we've got LQD here. LQD is corporate grade bonds. We know that corporate grade bonds kind of show us something about the markets. At least they show us whether the bonds market feels like they're excited or not. No new high. I usually would like to see a new high here for corps. We do not have a new high. So the corporates are weaker than the stock market itself, which I think is a very important factor. And we definitely need to be looking at that. Cold steel, I'll cover you in a second. Don't worry about that. So LQD weakness, okay? Move versus VIX. This is the options volatility versus the VIX volatility. You can really see the VIX getting suppressed here by the calls, which we'll look at in a second. Effectively, this is a huge gap discrepancy. It's on the 94th percentile. So 94th percentile gap move between the move and the VIX. That's showing us that there is volatility in the back. It's just being suppressed at this point. Now, if you jump on over to our Twitter, follow at FX Evolution if you're interested, you can see here hedging against volatility spikes. This is the amount of calls currently outstanding, which is continuously to increase. And this is because really what's happening here is that the street is being forced to hedge into the debt ceiling. And they're clearly concerned, and it's not really our opinion. Remember, I don't really usually care too much about these events, but this is very weird. Credit default swaps are increasing kind of like a bank, but this is the country. So, yeah, and they've got Yellen floating around telling everybody, hey, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good. We're all good. So, yeah, I'd be interested to see whether they do come to an agreement. People will all be discussing it. Obviously, it's the next top topic. We're not going to forget about some of the things that we're seeing on these charts, though. So this is all of the kind of negative kind of side things. Obviously, we've also got, the central bank liquidity starting to show us huge discrepancies. And if we put this on something like the Qs, so we'll put this on the Qs for a second here, you'll see how big a discrepancy there now is. So while the Qs are still being jumped on, and markets are obviously finding them hot, we are starting to see that turnaround. So if you're going to ask me what is going on right now, we basically have a situation where there are way too many puts in the system, and there are too many people trying to short the market, and the market is unable to go down at this point easily. We do know that 400 is the put wall this week, so that is unlikely to get breached by too much come close. So 400, I'm sure a lot of you would celebrate it being down there, but that probably is the bottoming of the market if it does go there for whatever reason. Then we have a lot of puts still on 405 and 410 and 420, 425, 430. We have a whole bunch of calls. So, of course, we know that there's huge amounts of calls expiring and huge amounts of puts expiring. A total of 2.488 million units, which is way higher than any other week because it's OPEX week. So, there's a lot at stake, and the market would do very nicely to stay in its little trade range if it felt like it, or even to push the top end boundaries, sucking in a bunch more calls. And I'm a bit sad because I was just about to say I think the market will gap fill. Oh, excuse me. That's a little annoying. I did the private stream a little bit before this, and I was saying if I had to guess here, I thought the market was probably going to go short into the gap fill and into the heavy traded zone, at least initially. But I do think that this is just the short term here. I'll just quickly cover it. I do think that this is an interesting level between the high trade zone and 41.15. That's where I think bulls should recommence if they were coming in today. So I wouldn't be surprised to actually knock off all this little pre-market green and then actually pull back into that 41.15, something to 41.20 zone, and maybe find some buyers through what was most likely demand because we know the market came through. So again, midterm, let's go at what we're thinking. My general thought process is that we're kind of degrading the market at this point. I could see, and if we go back to the daily, I could see one last swipe being a very real possibility. And the problem is there's quite a lot of real possibilities. So we're going to play chess with this market. So if I had to guess, and I am guessing here, this is definitely prediction. It is not necessarily proof. We don't have proof yet of anything in particular. So if I had to guess, I would say that the market could easily do something like this and then like that, okay? Now, if we see that and then we saw skew crushing, okay? So the skew got smashed. That would be a pretty good case to be saying, okay, well, at this time in the market, we are most likely just trapped a bunch of calls in. Everyone's in the YOLO crowd. People couldn't handle it. We got the breakout and we're coming down. It would also, at this point, really reaffirm that this is most likely distribution. And I think the market at that point would actually fall. And I think it would fall kind of like this. So we're thinking this, and then it comes down. And I actually think it would have a really hard time in here. It would then rally back through. And then we'd find out what's going on with the debt ceiling, whether we get a downgrade, whether we have bad jobs reports coming out as well. So we finally see it crushing. And if the Fed hasn't done the pivot, let's say they get another hike in or they're still holding rates, the market could crack the shits. So that's certainly one of the main things that I'm thinking of here in the markets. I'm thinking this is a real distinct possibility, okay? Because you've got to play chess with the market. Sometimes you've got to have some ideas. You've got to then have what are your pillars or what are your foundations towards this type of market doing this? Now, with the Qs, it's a little bit different because if we go over to the Qs midterm, they broke out. So weekly is higher on the closures the last couple of weeks. I gave up. I don't have shorts on this. I certainly am not trying to crush this just yet. I'm looking for it to go up. So we could feasibly see further gamma style stocks going up, further central bank style stocks going up, pushing some extremes that we'll look at on individual stocks later, and then getting crushed through. So again, this could be the final push, getting into these highs here, and then we see, that weakness. So we've got to be very, very wary of that. And we'll go through the bull case in a second as well. Cold steel, $10. Can you look at FUBO and OCUP? Sure, we can do that. Definition of midterm thoughts, 3 to 6 months generally. Heisen says, do you trade Aussie markets at all? Hell yeah, I do. But with Aussie markets, no one cares, man. It's a shame, but yeah, the Aussie market's kind of dead. On the internet, no one cares about the market. The only thing we ever care about in Australia or other people from around the world is iron ore stocks. But yes, yeah, iron ore stocks, energy. When it's the right sectors to be in, when I want to crush something, then yep, I'll do it. When I want to load something, yep, I'll do it. But the problem with the Aussie market is not very broad, so you're really focused in on a couple of sectors themselves. We don't have the tech like America does. America has the best tech. What can you do? So, it's the best market in the world, guys. That's why. So let's move over to some other things. So I can't really be negative here on US 100. I don't see a reason to be negative here. I don't. Okay. Now, if I did and we see a turn, sure, we'll have the evidence, but we have no evidence at this stage to say weaknesses here. At this stage, dips basically get bought up. There's just no reason to hate on it. Now, let's move over to the sector. So the midterm thoughts here are maybe one final swipe, get some skew crush. When we get skew crush, then that could actually be the catalyst towards all of this stuff kind of going through. Debt ceiling could also be just a reasoning. There'll be other reasoning as well, but there's going to be some interesting stuff coming up. XLY, consumer discretionary. Now, it's a sector that should go second after we see huge picks in XLK, XLC, etc. So this is like the type of stuff that usually leads into nice rallies for it. Now, what's the stock that you would be looking at? Well, theoretically, it's Amazon. It had a nice weekly close. I bought both Amazon and Google up last week as bull candidates because they're behind the other peers. And I think Amazon still benefits. They should just say AI another 700 times and they'd be going up. Yeah. What do you guys think? Let's read some chat here just before we keep going. Market manipulation is insane. That's correct. We should have listened to Warren Buffett's warning about futures trading / gambling. What's his? Well, I don't know about that. Options. He loves options. What do you mean? He loves options. Maybe look, futures is definitely a riskier game than options, which is a riskier game than, of course, just buying stock without any leverage. Of course, that's the way here. Tom, is 43.30 too obvious of a move? Well, I don't think it's too obvious of a move. It'll crush so many people if that happens, man. 43.30 would crush people. People lose their minds, man. You'll see if that happens. Zero says, do you think Google is setting up for a short trade? Yeah, I want to come on to that one, Zero. Don't worry. We'll check it in a second. So Jeff says long Amazon. Paul says, yeah, keep buying Amazon, bag holder here. Lol. I don't blame you. I mean, it's pretty much a big thing. This is a huge component of the markets. And of course, we are seeing a very nice weekly breakout. It's very behind. Now, 120 and 135, I've done some work. I think these are the two clean signs. It hasn't quite breached this 110 kind of category yet, but I could see Amazon riding. And if I was to go with bull candidates, I guess this is one of the bull candidates I would generally have on the charts. And I think you could make a lot of cases for it in many ways. It's still down a hell of a lot. You're still buying it at prices that are basically the same as 2018. And it definitely was a beneficiary, at least initially. Now, that's more if you're a bull case kind of person. Another one would be, of course, Google. Now, Google had a clean break. That was a absolute momentum, AI, fest, Wendy's, whatever you want to call it. Very clear to me. I bought it up before for a reason. I thought it was in a very good spot. Even had this sneaky trade. Now, I hope no one shorted that because that would have been a stupid idea. Never, ever, ever try to short off here when you can see that the market is clearly looking at accumulation. It's too obvious a short and it's going to crush you. That is absolute algorithmic hell holiness. We've seen it on the S&P a few times. Classic one that didn't catch us was, I remember you were in here. That one, not that one there. That one there. That's another one. Look at that one. Sneaky, sneaky. Nasty, nasty. Okay, nasty, nasty. Yeah, don't just believe because you've seen a pin or a shooting star or a hammer, it's glorious, all right? The markets are very good at trapping retail on that one. So you can stay away from that thing, yeah? It's no good. No good. That's a nasty, nasty. So the question was, is Google in the highs? And don't worry, Cold Steel, we'll answer your question in a second here. I do think that Google is close to it. Obviously, it's down here a little bit in the pre-market. Anything in this red box is very descalable. I've said it's a problem zone, so obviously I've got it already marked. I kind of feel like, though, if the queues are going to run, Google will still be able to get that 123 action up in this 122. I'd be very cautious of it here. Great run, fantastic. Off that break here, you're looking at already 9%, which is incredible. I still think it could do maybe 10, 11 total. But yeah, this is where you've got to really watch it and be careful here. JJ Burgess says, and we'll continue to trap people over and over and over in different ways too. Yeah, of course. That's why I often like options, because it gets rid of it. No, I'm not talking about midterm elections. I'm talking about midterm trading. So basically, let's just go with swing trading. Yeah, we'll go 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months. That's what I'm talking about. Can't trade a shooting star without looking at context, where shooting star appears a shooting star strong resistance is not the same as shooting star support or a pivot. Yeah, well, in general, with shooting stars or any of those types of candles, remember the edge is like 51 to 53%. So they're very small edge candles. You need a lot of confluence to really stack in your favor to take those types of positions. So look, we've got Google, we've got Amazon. Interesting. Google's kind of approaching near the end. The next one that we have is one that got beaten last week, which was Disney after earnings. And I can see why it's down here. I don't think it's more of a trade yet. It's probably more of a, do you like this as an investment level? I'm not discounting 78, 71 at some point later on, potentially even this year. It is very possible for this stock. However, this is a very interesting zone based on technicals and where we've gotten to. What I'm looking for is consolidation through this zone, and then I'd like to see consolidation into a gap up, and that to give us some significant kind of levels. Now, there was another one that I had for the short side, and it just keeps getting more annoying. This is unfortunate. That's a pure island reversal. I'm a bit sad because I had this one prepped for everybody today, and it's going. So 1% already down. That's a bit of annoying. So in the pre-market, it was only down like 0.2. So anyway, the SAP was an island reversal. I think you can all see this. Beautiful Friday open, beautiful close with it. I think that's probably going to 128. Unfortunately, probably run a little bit too much to get involved with now. Bit of a shame. But yeah, classic island reversal. Fills the gap, sits there for a while, dumps off. And looks kind of weak. Earnings got it through, come back to fill. So that's like a good continuation trade from a Friday session, and just one I wanted to bring up. Let's do Cold Steel's answers now. He can't wait any longer. We've got Fubo and OCUP. We'll check those out. So Fubo TV. Now, this is not one I've looked at in a very long time. I thought this company was dead. I hated this company back in the day. I remember when it was like, what was it, 50? Yeah. So it is worthless at this point, it looks like. Daily, the problem with this is always going to be, what kind of technical can I really run on this? So it has that kind of selling climax. Volume is not traditionally up until the earnings. So it's more of just an earnings run, and then it's kind of dumping back off. In my experience, unless it's a significant change in earnings, often it will give up around 75% of its gain, and then you look for the basing. Okay, so that's probably my suggestion or thought process technically on this. Obviously, proceed with extreme caution. It's not really my kind of cup of tea. And speaking of cup of tea, we got OCUP. Now, this one at least is moving in an actual trend. So it's gone from $1.80. It's a pharmaceuticals company known for pumpy dumpy, I would say. Yeah, bit of a pumpy and a bit of the dumpy and a pumpy and the dumpy, and does that a few times. Not as much pumpy, though it is up kind of hard. These stocks, I really don't think you're better off using. I don't even know if you're better using technicals on these, to be honest. It's more psychological numbers. You've already seen a high steal as well. Oh, I'm not sure if I'd be liking that so much. I think that could be even weak here. because it's a beautiful ascending, don't get me wrong, comes out with the earnings, goes on the epic run, which is typical of the pumpy dumpy. And you can see here the earnings, the pumpy, the dumpy, the pumpy, losing 50% of it, earnings bad, earnings pumpy dumpy, loses even 50% of that move. You know, that's traditional of the pharmaceuticals companies. So I would say it's probably cooked, but you know, we don't have a real turn. What I would say, that is a higher high, and it's rejected that with an engulfing candle. So not really my favorite. I can see why it's down today. Thanks for the donation. Sorry, I can't be more loving with that one, but yeah, I don't like them. What is the chat thing? Do you guys like those? D.A. Hobie. Do you own a Hobie? Looks like you got a fish, so maybe you own a Hobie. Good kayaks. $9.99. Can you review at Hims and at O? Also, you do this often? Yeah, we stream every Monday. And of course, we've got a private community where I stream on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and do stuff as well. Can we discuss the ridiculousness that is Tesla? Yes, we will soon. Don't worry. We'll do that. Friday's action was ridiculous. Yeah, it went up, hit the expected weekly options high, and then just dumped straight off the zone. Didn't even get up to 180. SAP volume spike at top also too. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you also to the 935 people joining us here. If you enjoy the stream, then absolutely smash that like button, and it'll help us out quite a lot. We've got people going here at Coal Steel. Look at 2008 if you think Amazon is recession proof. Oh no, consumer discretionary is not. There is only one recession proof stock. Does anyone know what it is? There is a recession-proof stock out there, guys, according to 2008. Thank you very much, Conrad. Appreciate it. Also, no, great to have you from Portugal. Be interesting to know, where's everyone from the community if you're willing to just say the country you're from. Chuck it out there. People are saying Microsoft. It's not Microsoft. Although I do love Microsoft and it's my favorite stock, it is not the one. Oh, Gary's not bad. He's got Costco written down here. But we've got McDonald's coming through from Phil. Phil was first. Dames was first. McDonald's, absolutely. We'll do this one very soon. So OCUP, yes. Okay, we're not too sure about that. Now, here's one that I'm sniffing out. Now, obviously, ALF is super popular with all the retail traders. It's the next second coming of everything. I don't even know what it does, some skincare products or something. But anyway, I'm sure it's a great company. But I'm going to sniff this one out. At some point, I believe this will get crushed. And when it gets crushed, I would like to talk about it. But at this point, I'm just watching it in an uptrend. I know it's down from where it was, but yeah, we'll be watching the ALF, okay? We're going to check that one out in the future. Let's have a look through some top stocks before we do DA Hobie's request. Let's look at Apple. Apple is in the zone of I am absolutely not interested in this in any way, shape, or form towards the buy side. But I cannot short it, and I can't do anything with it at this point. We know that we're in there. If you believed in double top fantasies, then you would say this just double topped, and that was the break, and then therefore this is the low, and it's going to come up, and then it's probably going to short. I'm not convinced by that, but notice this. We do have a gap. So what if one day bad things happen and we gap down? Is that the catalyst that breaks Apple? The island reversal trade? Well, we'll be watching, and unfortunately for Apple fans or non-fans, I really think, is this stock boring to you right now? I know it's ground higher and you should celebrate your 70% gains and stuff, but I don't know, guys. Anyone like it at that price for the long side? Let me know in the chat if you do. I don't even like my favorite Microsoft in the longs here. I just think it looks like trash. I can see upside potential. I can see this getting taken, so this level, but we're just watching. We're just patient here. This is an individual stock market again. We're not looking so much at indices right now like we usually do. We're actually looking at specific stocks again. Anyone else feel that? I do. Nvidia, I mean, what's going on here? It's sticking around this extremely high zone. I'd have to be bearish than bullish here. I know it's the stock that everyone thinks is the best and everything, but yeah, it's too high for me. I don't like this. This is my no-go zone, and I'm a big fan of Nvidia, but I'm not a fan at that. I just cannot be a fan here. I can be a fan anywhere else, but here, not here. I cannot stand it at that price. We'll do Tesla in a second. Let's move over to DA Hobie. And we've got here is at Hims. Is this Hims Herbs? Hims Herbs, okay. Oh, we must have done Hims Herbs before. All right. 2 hours going to show an island reversal style, though not an absolute classic. Let's have a look at the weekly here. Weekly closed down in golf. We've seen a nice rally. Middle of nowhere land, so it's unlikely that this is a really heavy short zone. I'd be looking at 1450. I think I'd look for this to actually reverse island back up. So we've sit here for a few days. You can see we gapped back down. We know the trend's overall bullish. So I'd actually be looking for a nice, big, strong day coming out, maybe up, maybe 1-2% in the morning. If it comes off this base here, then we should hopefully be looking at slingshot. Now, I don't know if it's going to go to 1450, but certainly that would be the bullish catalyst here for Hims. And targets I would have would be probably around that zone. We could pull some volume profiles, but I don't think it's going to help us too much. We know the base there. It does have a nice base. It's breaking out. It has the potential of an island reversal towards further gains. But yeah, I think the case is that the up in the 1450s. DA Hobie also asked for O, which is Reality Income Corporation. Realty, sorry. Not reality. So what is going on here? Real estate investment trust. Some of these are kind of in the very low prices. These any REIT kind of thing. Volume's not super high. I'm not sure how much we have here on the build. Let's go to the weekly again. Yeah, okay. That's usually a pretty good sign. This by this. Probably be more bullish than bearish here. I don't like the volume drop. Wait, is that a steal? Let me have a look. Not sure how much we actually have here in terms of advantage on this chart. Probably have very little edge. It's only up 0.31 today. If I was guessing, I would say it is an accumulation. And it has dropped a fib over here of probably 75. Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of stock that I would be looking at. It's the kind of stock I'd be looking at. Another one that's dropped heavily has been Enphase. I think Enphase kind of looks bullish, to be honest, around these levels. So it's dropped into that 75 as well. Classic kind of absolute dumperzoid. Terrible, horrible, whatever it is, earnings report. No one likes it. Markets come down really hard, 22%. Not usually good with full recoveries, by the way. If you ever looked at stocks, when stocks dump this much, 20% in one day, the stats are not in the favor of this stock ever recovering. Okay. Now, I know in the tech stock side, it is possible. But if you look at a lot of stocks, like let's say it was an energy stock that dropped 20% in a day, no buy. Bad. If it's a bank and it drops 20% a day, no, it's never coming back. Like 8 out of 10 times dead as a doornail. Okay. So Enphase is an interesting one because we found a potential base here. We're looking for that gap out today. 1.31 up, which takes us to 169. Let's put 169 on the charts. 169. Okay, so not out of our range enough yet. So we're going to need more on the island reversal side. You could argue it's already come out with this little Friday. I think that's what people are probably buying. But yeah, this is it deep value? Question mark. Maybe not, but certainly it's around that area where I could see buyers coming through on this one. Very risky. Bulls Z09 Bulls PLTR came out with BS military AI article. Oh, did it? I thought PLTR was the best. PLTR has literally destroyed so many retail traders' accounts, and it's continued. But I do think it's actually in base. But yeah, it's destroyed retailer traders' accounts. This thing's like the kryptonite. I remember fighting with people on this stream about this stock. They're like, "Nah, it's going back." I'm like, "Nah, this looks like crap." But anyway, yeah, wow, $45 at one point. It does look like it's basing though. Tom, you were wrong about McDonald's during the recession. You could at least all of us that said Dollar Tree and we're correct. What do you mean McDonald's? McDonald's did well. McDonald's was the greenie in the Dow. Dollar Tree. The hell's Dollar Tree? Is it like $2 shop? No, I know what it is. All the idiot YouTubers trading PLTR are so stupid. Well, I don't really want to comment on that. I don't know. I mean, just to me, it just doesn't. I just don't get it. I know it gets clicks and PLTR is a long-term hold, maybe at these prices. But there's a difference between buying this price and buying this insane price. So at least now we're at a price that kind of makes sense. I'm not going to say I know anything about this fundamentally. I don't. I know they're on F1 car. I can't remember which F1 car they're on, but that's about the extent of my knowledge on PLTR. And to me, it is a company that has been around on the stock market less than 5 years. So I instantly hate it. That's pretty much my rule. If it's not, I have a rule. I'll tell you guys this. If you want to, kind of always protect a little bit better, you're always going to go with hold companies that have been on the market generally over 5 years. That will make them go through a lot of earning cycles, which will clean out the crap. And we want to do that whenever we can. That's actually pretty much not really my rule. I think it's a Buffett rule. Let's take a look at PayPal. Sure. Let's have a look at PayPal. I heard PayPal is in an interesting zone. So let's check it out. Okay. Well, that's more interesting than I thought. Oh, my goodness. Oh, how the heavy have fallen. Oh, Kramer's favorite stock. Geez, that's much worse than I thought. Okay. Yes. Wow. PayPal is bad, guys. It's bad. It has the 20% drop. Remember, we don't like the 20% drop. Geez, I don't know, dude. I actually think that this is untouchable right now. I'm a big fan of taking on risk, but I don't really think that is worth it. Let me draw the fib of the bottom all the way to the top right now. Let me have a look at this. That's much worse than I thought it was. I heard somebody's talking about, oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. Can we just not look at this chart anymore? PayPal is old tech. Yeah. Yeah, it looks dead. Like when I say dead, just doesn't mean it's like going to die tomorrow or anything, but I can't say I like it. PayPal is obsolete. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan. This one here is looking bad. No AI. That's right. No AI. They need to put the AI on immediately. We need immediate AI action. Let's go through some other markets before we get into it. We're about 20 minutes off the market open. So we're looking at obviously some individual stocks. We've got the Amazons. The Amazon is an interesting stock. We've also got someone may have super chatted then. This thing is broken or something. Oh, sorry, I missed one. Neverland, $2 Australian. Gold 2020. Sellers getting eaten. Thoughts all-time high. Gold 2020 sellers getting eaten. What are your thoughts? All-time high. Gold. You want me to tell you whether I think gold's all-time high right now? I actually have a chart, and I don't think I had it. Damn it. I was meant to get the chart up for you guys. Sorry, I missed it. But let me just give you the gist of average Americans getting currently polled. Gold is now on the uptick of most favored long term assets. Real estate has dropped quite drastically recently. Stocks are now kind of like middling grounds to dropping a bit, and bonds are on the uptick. So generally speaking, gold's significantly gone up. That's not really a great sign for gold either. The problem I have with gold is I still think gold's going to $3,000. Okay, I actually really do believe that. And I do believe it's going there, but gold holds up really badly in recession, and we're probably going for a recession, whatever the hell that means. We're going for some rate cuts. That's good. But if the stock market does flail, if the stock market flails, gold is not a hedge against that. So my problem is sideways action right now. I don't have the flow to back that up. I mean, I obviously bought the flow in on the weekend video. Where's my flow chart? Here it is. This is gold's flow. So at the moment, gold is stagnant, and therefore it's doing this. So if I see that drop like a cliff, yeah, I think gold will probably go down for a little bit. If I see this inject and it goes to a new breakout high, and then we can talk about gold going up way more to all-time highs. But if it'll have to break out of this zone. I need to see some real market action. And at this stage, I think we're in a trading range. Now, we may have got some other super chats, so I'm just going to have to quickly pick them up if I can. Sorry if I missed anybody. Okay. I think I got that one. Thank you very much. Okay, 1 second. Thank you very much, Never Leverland. Appreciate that. And I think you may have actually super chatted again. So for more gold analysis, $2 wasn't enough. No worries. So for gold analysis before open. So here's 10 yellow. Ah, very cool. Sellers getting filled at 2020. No room for impossible touch up from the top. Yeah, look, I mean, let's have a look at the gold chart again since you were so generous. And my problem's the weekly, and I'll just stick this for you. So basically, you want the weekly to clean this level here. And if the weekly does manage to get past that zone, then you're looking pretty strong for gold. In fact, I think at that point, gold will probably make an all time high. I don't see weekly though getting clicked yet. So we're watching the weekly close here on gold like a hawk. That's going to be one of the reasons. I still think gold might want to come down to the heavily traded zone. The reaction from that's going to be important. 1983 will be a zone that I think you should focus on. That's going to be a big one there. So 1983 gold, I feel like it's probably going towards that direction. We got the short in last week around this zone, and at this stage, it's boom, 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 boom. I could see it going boom, and then possibly maybe even up into this zone, and then down here, or even just shorting here to the heavily traded zone. I'm very interested in what gold does here. That is my watch for the week. I want that alert. I want to set the alert, and I want to know what it does there. Once that happens, never ever land, we can talk about it. But yeah, that's my answer. Verified News says Roblox. We'll check that out in a second. Verified, no worries. And Migo has $10. Says, what do you think about Neo? Do you want my honest thoughts? Do you really want to know what I think about Neo? Okay. All right. We'll check that out in a second. Thank you very much. Let's move over to Bitcoin, Bitnoodle, Bitcoin, whatever we want to call it. So we've moved into a very heavily traded zone. Now, this is an absolute volume profile special in terms of if you go from pretty much anything through here, you'll notice that we are, oops, where are we there? Quickly get this one down. There we go. Now, we should, yeah, there we go. So if we go through that base bottom, you'll notice we get a lot of volume trade right where we are right now, which is also happens to be a supply. So I do think with Bitnoodle that we could actually see some shorts either. I've got short zone 1 here and short zone 2 at the most traded levels. So both of these levels, I think, open up real short capabilities for Bitcoin at this stage. It is rallying up. There are reasons. I believe so many people had this low that when it broke through and didn't close the daily, by the way, the daily fully rejected, it will have trapped short sellers, and those short sellers are getting smashed. So that's going to be a big thing. It's squeezing the shorts out. this is a turn potential point for Bitcoin. This level right here and just above are both where I think the major shorters will sit if they're going to short off the Bitcoin. So, yeah, these are two levels I'm looking for. Once it cleared this high, once it pulled back here, there was no way I would short that at that point. It was always going to sling into this one. Good thing for you to go and actually view. And if you want to know more about that type of trade or any of these things, you've got to do the day trading masterclass I put out. That would help you a lot on Bitcoin recently. Some excellent trades there, some specky ones. All right, let's just quickly do some of these. We've got Roblox coming up first. Not a stock I've looked at. We do need to cover Tesla. So Tesla's ridiculousness. Here it is. Thank you to the 1,068 people joining us here. We're about 14 minutes off the market open. We're covering a lot of individual stocks. We're back on that train since we're stuck in the range of the S&P 500. So here is Tesla. It was a little ridiculous in some ways. Of course, high to low swing 61.8 fib was attacked. Expected weekly options high was attacked. I did hope we would go to 180. Okay, that was my aim. I wanted to see 180 get cleaned to get us in this box. Didn't quite do that and just went right back down. I still maintain 145 medium term, so 3 months, I guess. We should reach that. And yeah, this is a strange candle. So it goes up and it hits the 61.8 and rejects. Not a great sign if you're a bull, but it hasn't made a new low and certainly hasn't closed to a new low. So I'm looking for it to close a new low to really say, well, maybe it's not going bullish. At this stage, I'd still say there's bulls sitting around here looking for that 180. And I know that doesn't make much sense with that one, but yeah, I could see Tesla's, ooh, that's sneaky. This was pretty clear to me. It was clear to me here that we were going up here. I just thought we'd go probably another $3. So frustrating, I think, on that one. Still maintain, I guess I'm bullish very short term on Tesla. And I guess that's the way I look at it. PayPal's so bad. Ugh. It might jump, but my goodness, I don't even want to think about it right now. Not that I have it, but I just don't want to think about it. Roblox looks a lot better on the initial weekly chart here. Interesting base. Volumes obviously dropped, so that's not great. We do have a little turn here. It looks like kind of classic accumulation. The trick will be when it breaches. So when do we know this thing's on a proper run and not just stuck in the range? And I'm not sure we're going to get that from this analysis. The gap down is good. The creation of this is good. I want to see a real injection of volume. And you can see it was looking for the catalyst in earnings and didn't get it. So I would like to see this thing come out of the gate super strong. I'm going to put it on an alert and we'll watch it in the future. So we've got the Roblox on the alert because I can see value in Roblox from the perspective of this thing being a trade, but there's no activation yet. Weekly is okay. Gap low, gap up. Technically, that is obviously a candle pattern. This should have closed bullish though. So that would have been a good Morningstar style approach. But yeah, at this point, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I'd like to see gap up. Nice gap. I want to see some actual volume coming into it. Thank you very much, Verified News. Migo, $10. What do you think about Neo? Well, my thoughts on the company is I'm not interested in buying it under any circumstances. And I've always maintained that. I think it sucks from that perspective. Okay. Now, for me, actually understanding the fundamentals, that is a naive approach. I just think the price action is horrible and I don't want to buy Neo. Okay. I just don't want to buy it. Now, there are a couple of reasons. It blew up massively on nothing, in my opinion, and then it got dumped, of course, accordingly. It's not the type of stock I don't really like motor vehicle stocks because traditionally they are trash and they make very little money. And you've got massive overheads and security stuff. And oh man, it gets on, and then competition's real nowadays and all these things. This stock doesn't look like it's turning just yet. It does look like it's degrading. Volume is fairly consistent. Okay, that's fine. But you have no reason yet to like it now. I just can't see a turn here. I would be very patient with this stock and react only. I'm never going to predict this thing's low because I think the low could be in the ground. I really do. So, it's continuously declining. What does the chat think? Chat, help me go out. What do you guys think? Thank you for the donation. I know I rag on this stock, but I just never liked it. I still don't like it. And the price action has not shown me here that I want to be in it. Now, if you are some kind of deep value investor that understands this thing really well, that's good, but there's still no catalyst for it yet. There's no daily strength, there's no weekly strength. It's well through all of the fibs that you'd usually traditionally use. So it's just, you're kind of just buying based on a gut feel or your fundamentals. Sorry, bro. No worries, never ever land. Chillo 31416 Canadian $10. Can you do a Unity after Roblox? Yeah, we can do Unity. Unity, another one of the blasts from the past. Now, Unity has a better base on it. Let's go to the daily here. So, fairly consistent volume. Obviously, some nice spikes in here. This was probably the selling climax, November of 22. So, that was probably the selling climax. We've now seen the markets come down and make a new low, which we can price here. I'm just going to put that on the chart. So I'm very interested in this. About 8 minutes off the market open, guys. We will go back to the market in a second here. Okay, so that was actually a new low. So that's a nice little turnaround that's happened down here. I do usually prefer a better turn from the perspective of, yeah, okay. Well, I don't mind that. Gap, yeah, this is not too bad. Good weekly close. I think it's not too bad. If you've probably got to be more of a multi-month risk averse kind of person that's buying it here. But it has some good hallmarks for the turn. The wick, the closure, though I wish that was more bullish than it is because it didn't close near its highs. So someone did remove position. But it is right. I mean, this is absolutely the right levels for this thing to be holding. The 24.75. Don't mind that. Unity's okay. I'm just trying to think if it's good enough. Again, these are not probably ones I would play just because I haven't seen the replication in them. But an investor or a multi-month trader, you could do worse on that one. So it's not too bad. Richard C says, thanks for your great content and streams, Tom. No worries. All good. Pumpy Dumpy. Never Ever Land says, thanks for the analysis. Hey, mate, how long have you been trading? 15 years, which is a pretty long time considering I'm 35. That's quite a while now. Thanks for the analysis. How long have you been trading for? Where and why did you start? Tell us a little about yourself. Yeah, so I mean, I technically have been trading longer, but it wasn't really trading. It was more just kind of buying stocks I liked. So I probably started when I was 16, to be honest. So 16, dad kind of said, here's the money, $2,000 or something, have a go at stocks. You'll probably like it. And I always just ran a lot of little businesses. So you'll find like a lot of people, a lot of stock traders, they'll be often entrepreneurs. Buffett was basically one. You'll often have like that business kind of mindset. So I ran like a lot of businesses and obviously stocks like the main business. And I started just buying things I knew on the street. And that was with, just a little bit of money. And yeah, ended up picking some good ones. Then I picked like kind of a bad one. And the bad one just sat there and did this. It was kind of like this for ages. And I guess I lost a bit of interest when I saw that. I was like, well, that's boring. And then when I was about 19, 20, I got back into it really hard. And basically went back into, I kind of found out about all the dangerous stuff, the CFDs and which is basically like a futures contract for Americans. And then I found out about options and I found out about all these things. And I was just lucky enough to, really get into it around the global financial crisis. I remember like buying Apple at, I think it was like $88, $90, and it went up like to $200. This is before splits, yeah. So this is like 7 splits ago or whatever it is. And I remember thinking, how easy is this? And my mate, he was trading Australian stocks, and he thought, yeah, this is awesome. And then I was hooked. And from that point, just got a lot of mentors and really, really built it out, and was lucky enough to get some serious opportunities with some serious money. So I was very lucky. Mushroom Cap, thank you very much for $10. Mushroom Cap, $1.99. Can you take a look at CMC and NEU? Mushroom Cap, $2, and you want two stocks. Is that greedy, guys? Is that greedy, Mushroom Cap? Thank you very much for the donation, though, man. We'll check out CMC and NEU in a second. All right, 4 minutes. Let's do some quick ones. It'll have to be quick, Mushroom Cap, unless I really love it. New market. Now, I'm going to assume you're saying American stocks unless you're going otherwise. Let's check out this one. NEU. NEU. That is the cheap deal here. All right. So we've got here beautiful trend line breach. If you're in it long, I couldn't hate, man. Where do you have problems though? And do I want to get in new longs? I don't want to get in new longs. I don't see why I'd join this. You can see the flag potential here with this move. Obviously, if you get the breach, I think if you take pole length, you'll probably find it actually overshoots that. Interesting. Let's go weekly again here. Pole length goes to that one. Okay. Yeah, I think anything in these red boxes is probably where the target is here. It's probably still in an uptrend. So NEU, not too bad. Let's have a look at CMC. CMC, commercial metals. Now, surely CMC should be bearish because I'm pretty bearish on the metals at the moment. And it does look kind of bad. Not epically bad. I don't know if I want to buy this yet, man. It's come down. About 3 minutes till the market open. Weekly closures underneath. I think it's got more to fall. I'd like it more around 36. No sign of life just yet in that one. Fib on the low high, 61.8. Okay, fair enough. And here. All right, if I want to be bullish in this, I would need it to click this, then do that, and I'd pick it up there. I'd rather react to this one. I'm not clear on whether that thing's going to pick up or not. Serotonin booster, like the name, $2.99 Australian. Please do Intel and NXT. Intel was certainly one of our picks a little while ago, and it was glorious, but I'm cooked on it now. So, yeah, this was sweet. I love this so much. That was a great pick, by the way. I liked it very much. Now, do I want to buy Intel still? This is a zone that I've had targeted, obviously, after the break. It's around the right area for Intel to find buyers. So yeah, it's kind of like deep value. This is deep value, this stock. It is an underperforming absolute horror show when bought wrong. Okay. Intel sucks. It only takes no boffin to realize that Intel is a trash company to own as an investment generally. Does this chart prove that? Yes, it really does. It's bad. So yeah, I think they're turning it around. They're turning the ship. The ship's being turned, and 61.8 area up to the 75, somewhere in this zone is probably where I expect buyers to recommence. Let's take a look at the weekly. I want to make sure I was right. Yeah, I still maintain that. I still maintain in this box here is interesting. Okay, thank you very much. And what was the other one? NXT. I haven't looked at that in a while. Next tracker. Actually, maybe I've never looked at this stock. Oh, what is this? Too little data. I don't know. Too much of a guess. LV junk and hauling. There's just nothing here for me, man. It's too. I don't know. It's going up. LV junk and hauling, $20. Thank you. Come to Vegas for the F1 opening soon. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. When is F1 in Vegas? By the way, we've opened the market. We will go over to that in a second. I'd expect the S&P to come down a little bit here. I'd like to see gap fills. Just to reiterate, anyone that wasn't here before, I know we've opened, so I just quickly check it. I'd like to. There's markets everywhere. Yeah, so basically, we're looking for this to get into here. I actually think it goes a little lower into this zone. If buyers are going to recommence there, if you shorted pre-market, congrats. I think that was a pretty good short up in here if you're a scalper. But around this area would be a, definitely BE/TP. The Las Vegas, it's too late for me. 18th of November. 18th of November is the Vegas GP. Now, I'll be over there in September. But thank you very much, LV Junk and Hauling. Appreciate it. $20. Thank you. And then Tom began buying Microsoft. I actually didn't buy Microsoft till I found out about Office 365. As soon as I saw that product, I was like, well, they're going to make so much money. It reminded me of when, Bill Gates, you got to give him credit. His whole little way he sold his units and basically did software boxes and started selling those rights. That was legendary. That was a legendary decision. I love it how he actually owned Steve Jobs too. That's pretty funny. Steve Jobs must have been so burnt that Bill Gates completely owned him. Is my child trading? I tell you what, would I want my child trading? That's a good question. Probably. It's a pretty stressful lifestyle. But no, not yet. It's only like a month and a bit old. Cost dump coming. Might check that out, Mike. So we'll definitely check it out. Thank you very much for everybody. And for the donations. Mushroom Cap making it good. $2 again. Thank you very much, Mushroom Cap. Yeah, bearish on CMC. Sorry, the VIX has rinsed me. Yeah, man, the VIX is nasty. Why are you trading VIX, Mushroom Cap? How many times can I tell you guys that VIX is just the stupid... Don't trade the VIX, please. Please. It's so bad. I mean, if you load up any VIX ETF, it just rips you over time. It's like natural gas. It's the reason I've kind of taken it back. All right, let's look at some sectors. So the market's getting in close here to the gap fill. I still want to go a little bit lower. I kind of expect it to get towards the gap fill, though, fairly quickly. Qs still look fairly bullish. Obviously, there's nothing much we can do about that. I'll give you some top data stats. Let's do some top data stats since we've got over 1,000 people here. Wednesday and Thursday are both technically 60% bearish days. Now, if you're interested, I will be putting this out. I promised you guys from a little while ago. Where is my link? 1 second here. All right. We're doing things. All right, I'm going to go to my studio. 1 second. I'll probably get in trouble if I put my studio on top. So we'll just quickly do this. And we will get a link. Now, if you're interested, I suggest... here we go. Okay, so if you're interested, anybody, and you want to get on the list, it's just going to be a free thing. I'm going to release it once a month. I'm going to release data stats. By the way, poll people think that the debt ceiling will be sorted. 65% of you think, 773 votes, 65% of you think the debt crisis will be solved before July. I'm going to take a snapshot of that. What is this? Where's my snapshot thing? Okay, 65%. Damn, dude. There we go. I'm a long-term investor. I only buy on Tuesday and Thursday. Yeah, so Wednesday, Thursday technically are bearish days this week. In fact, this week has many stacked bearish days, but that's just stats over time. So there we go. There's the I would have thought wasn't that the gap fill? SPX move. Let me just quickly make sure I got the right gap here. Yeah, okay. Futures must have traded lower after. Okay, that's fine. So we got the gap fill. Congrats to anyone that sold in that section. That was very, very sweet. And here is the next area. Easy 5 trillion for the debt, 55 Ukraine, 80 trillion for other expenses, and it's approved. Yeah. Hey, I don't know whether it's Jenks says, not me, Tom. I think it won't be. Hey, I'm just going with the CDs. I'm just going with the CDs and the fact that they all have infighting. Who knows? It's all a joke anyway. But if you're interested, it's data stat release. Just sign up with the 3 free trading cheat sheets and I'll chuck you on the list. I am bullish the US money printer. I would not go against the US money printer should we see it. So today we're kind of looking for B2D guys kind of coming in through here. Obviously, we've got our first reaction, which is what we wanted, which is what we said at the start. Nice movement down into filling up that gap. Conrad says we are heading down to the 40-60 area this week. Well, that would be consistent with maximum pain. So let's have a quick look at maximum pain. 405 is max pain this week. So that's where, if the market was going to make all the lobster dinners and lunches, that's where it would go. And yeah, 400 is the big deal here. This is where the puts are. 400 puts, and we know that it's unlikely to get underneath that. 405 being the kind of high, and there's still a lot of calls out. I'd say there's a bit of shenanigans going through. Possibly we kind of go drop into rally, into drop, get a 405. Perfect. That would be pretty sweet. Hope is a hell of a drug. Yeah, that's true. Can we do some Baba? News in debt ceiling raised to infinity, million, billion plus one. True? I thought they weren't ready on that till tomorrow. You give me fake news, sir? All right, let's do Baba. Why is everyone like Baba, by the way? Natural gas. Doing the turn here, by the way. It looks like it's ready to break out, hopefully soon. It's dangerous trade. Yeah, dangerous trade. Now, Baba, I have no interest in this stock. No. Look, this is actually not too bad. It's come down. It's done the base. It actually is an island reversal. It is where you'd expect it to come back off. I'm not a fan of Baba because I still think it's a stock that is getting destroyed slowly by kind of like the government, actually, more than anything else. And I just don't think it's the favored stock anymore in China or anywhere. We do have the two long leg doji equilibrium. We do have kind of that gap up. Would I trust an island reversal on this stock at the correct level? Probably not, but it is there. It is there. I mean, I can't deny it's there. Here we go. This is Biostic's comments from 2 hours ago. Fed's Bostic, or whatever his name is. He does not see inflation coming down quickly, CNBC. Fed's Bostic. Rate cuts are not part, this is for the Fed dot plot, are not part of my baseline. My baseline is we will not be looking at cutting until well into 2024. There is still a long distance to go on inflation. We may even have to go up on rates. We have done the easiest part of inflation reduction. Appropriate policy is to wait and see the effects of tightening to now, blah, blah, blah. There is some risk of recession. Codename, there is a recession. If we fall into a recession, it will not be long or deep. Codename, not great. I mean, come on. You can't make that stuff up, can you? There is some risk of recession. What does that mean, chat? There is some risk of recession. Do you believe that? Some risk? That's why TLT is cratering. Well, you've got yields going. Look, we know this is the one preface I've always said, whether I'm wrong on many other things. I still really feel the market is BSing us about this Fed cuts. The Fed is a slow walrus and it just doesn't move that quickly. It's like, they always do everything wrong. So they're probably going to break something, then they'll do some cutting. I just don't think they'll cut fast. And the market thinks there's so many cuts in. I could be wrong, sure, but I don't know. I suspect that's probably correct. Now, here's Young Buck going in. There was a recession 2 quarters in 2022 and it did negative. Yeah, you're right. And that is the problem. And that's the biggest issue with where's the stat here? Where is our stat? Not that one. It's a pretty bullish stat, that one, actually. Sorry, guys. I'm just clicking around here to try to get it. There we go. We got there in the end. So you do bring up a great point. There already has been a recession by the normal rules. So have we already seen the drawdown? And this is why you can make the bull case. This is truly why I believe you can make the bull case. It's because we already saw some of these declines the way that you would usually expect them. Yes. It's true, but in 7 of the 8 recessions, theoretically 2022, by the way, you almost always saw the drawdowns happen after the recession. And I hate the fact they changed it. It's so stupid. It really annoys me. Was yield curve inverted then? Yes. Yes. However, usually yield curve inverts and then you get one. Maybe it's like a double dip recession. You get 2 recession. The official recession, like the real one, and then you get then you get the official recession. Yeah, because you're right. 12 to 18 months after you invert is theoretically when you get the recession, and 6 months usually after jobs start to actually show the weakness. Let's have a look at the small time frames here on the S&P. We'll go to a 1-minute chart just to understand what the market's doing. So I'm pretty happy with the way it's come down so far. I'd like it to hover here now, spike the low, come back up, do that. That's one of the chess games I would play with the market today. Watch the Fed start hiking again. The RBA is going to hike. For any Australians out there, the Reserve Bank's probably got another 1 or 2 in it. Well, that's what the dot plot says. We'll see what the new dot plot says here. Jenks says, I feel like they should cut sooner because inflation dropping will lag interest rates by a lot. Yeah, well, again, I don't disagree that there are plenty of reasons why they should cut things. It's just I don't know. They never do anything they should. They just do everything. Remember, inflation was transitory. Inflation is now real. There's no recession. We're never going to go into a recession. We now have a mild recession. I mean, can we trust anything? Absolutely not. Powell and Yellen created inflation. Technically, inflation was created by the government. So maybe Yellen. But yeah, you're right. Inflation was created. Can anyone hear that weird noise, by the way, that's coming through the trade platform? I hope you can't. But anyway. Yeah, inflation was created by the government stim checks. The old stim. Bank of Canada paused too early, and now the Toronto real estate sector has exploded. Exact same problem here, Kevin. RBA made the same mistake. New Zealand did not. The Fed, they thought the Fed did the heavy lifting and it would come across and it would all be good, and it became sticky, and now we're all in trouble. And you're exactly right. Canada real estate, Australian real estate, it is on fire in a good way. Bull. That's what they're doing. I'm talking to a lot of agents. They're smashing existing houses. I tell you though, Kevin, tell me this. I want everyone around the world to give me their real estate because we always look at real estate anyway. Is housing up and land down in your country? Yes or no? Give me the country too. So Canada, I want to know, is land actually flat and housing up? I would assume it's the same as Australia. Land is in the dirt here in Australia compared to housing. Yes, the buzzing noise. Yeah. All right. What else have we got? Anything else here in the market? So we're flatlining here on the US 100, US 500. That's fine. Again, I'd like to see low into a high break. Copper's up. That's fine. Silver's up. Whatever. Let's have a look at silver, I guess. Silver daily here for a second. Silver daily. Ooh, back in the. Oh, okay, I could see like why some people may try to buy this level. Would I? Probably not. Not yet. Silver double top. So it could do something like this. Yeah. I would expect silver to weaken though if we are going into some form of whatever you want to call it, recession thing. Okay, housing up in US, Google up. Yeah, Google's doing all right. Amazon up 1, which is pretty nice. Is SAP down? SAP down 1. Perfect. SAP is down. Google is up. That's fine. Amazon's up. That's good. The rest of these high gamma stocks are flatlining. So that's good. Okay, perfect. It's good. Rent very dollars up. Yeah, that's right. Silver is so manipulated. Be careful. Yes, it is. South Florida land is up and houses are stable. Interesting. Florida, USA land and housing up massive. Yeah, don't look at the last 3 years. I'm interested in what's happening in the last 1 year. 1 year. DAX, sure, we'll do DAX. Yeah, we'll put DAX here. DAX. I must admit though, the DAX is looking. It looks so short, but that's probably a bias, guys. I really want to short the DAX, but I think it's so ridiculously priced. Do I really want to short the DAX when it's so heavily shorted by everybody else at these prices? I mean, I've held off. I haven't done anything on it. I haven't touched the DAX in a while. I have trimmed Europe inside of portfolios. I've trimmed Europe. I just think Europe, doesn't interest me. But I like the 20+% it gave us. 16K DAX with a rejection like that, eh? Weekly still looks kind of Oh, very tough. Very tough. It doesn't have the hallmarks of my replication short on it, so I probably wouldn't touch it still. But it is at a zone that I want to touch it. I want to go short on it, but I just don't think I can. So yeah, just basically it's at res. Okay, that's all I can say. Not enough yet. I'm still on a 1.89 mortgage for another 9 days. Jonathan, I need to donate you $1, sir. You need our money before you go on to 7%. Oh, brutal, bro. I hope you paid down your house. I hope everybody that's on high rates is on high rates with a lot less money. Key Bank is ripping. Oh, I want to look at KRE. I forgot to mention that. That was in my video on the weekend. Yes, it's up. Okay, that's good. Fantastic. I actually think KRE is bottoming for the super crazy risk takers. Don't know why I forgot about this one. Yes, interesting. Okay. Migo $2. Where can we see your trades? Well, you can join the private community and I'll give you an idea, but yeah, I don't give out. Look, what's the point? Just become a bunch of people following me. You're better off learning how to fish, yeah? Always learn how to fish, guys. If you don't learn how to fish, then you're just going to flail. So think about it this way. What I'm looking at right now is obviously I'm looking at certain things that are pointing in the evidence towards the overall market. And then you're always looking for replication. So we always want to be making sure that we react to the market. If you have a look, I've done a pretty good day trading course. I can tell you a lot of people have been funded recently on it and it's getting better all the time. So that teaches you how to react and have the patience. But I would also say it's for people that trade indices, commodities, and currencies. If you trade individual stocks, you have to approach it more from a macro base with technical analysis and then use data. If you're not using data and stocks, I don't know about that. Data, TA, it's a match made in heaven. Okay, that's love. Data and TA, very good. And fundos on top, it's all right. SCHW upgraded regional bank. Yeah, a few people were looking at that one. In the private community, I think one of the members was looking at it. I've just put an order at Fubo at $1 a share. Fair enough. Dada. See, I say data, whereas you would say data. Like Star Trek, I guess. Do you have some good TA videos to recommend? Bowel 2? I guess I'd have to say my day trading masterclass, man. Sylvian says, learning to fish is far better than copying. You can use levels, Tom highlights with your own analysis. Day trading course is excellent. Thank you very much, Sylvian. Appreciate that. Dada. It's like It's like aluminum. Aluminum. We say aluminium, but you say aluminum. Jelly, jam. I'm confused. Anyway, look, we are at the end of this show today. I am super excited about getting this damn data, whatever you want to say, getting it going for everybody so that you guys can see a little bit more of some extra little edge that you could have on markets. So stick around for that. Make sure you get on our mail list. You can do so by clicking the LinkedIn if you're interested. I'm super close. I'm working with the Bloombergs. Okay. I'm going to go see their fish tank next week, which is, by the way, they have glorious offices. If you're ever allowed in the Bloomberg office, they have a great office with a private chef and a very nice, beautiful, that's where the terminal money goes. And then they've got this beautiful fish tank. But anyway, I'll be going in there. I'll have a chat to them. Hopefully we can get some access to this stream, which is going to be super excellent. So that's a big thank you, you guys. If anybody out there is like a super pro at, let's say, graphics design, well, more like intro design type of stuff, reach out to me on Discord, join the public Discord, message me. If only, look, I will admit I need the pros. So let me know, because I am looking at something there. And also I want to make sure that we go into some individual stocks. We're going to do every single time. We're going to go long-term, medium-term, and short-term trades every Monday when we go through this. We're going to have more watch lists, more stuff. I'm excited. So I hope that helps you guys to give it a thumbs up and enjoy the channel. I want to be more based, of course, with analysis. I think that you have to give me slack a little bit when my son was born. Obviously, I saw a lot of bear stuff, but at the same time, we've just basically traded a range anyway. So, look, at this point, we're very open to both sides, but I still think middle term, I'm still bearish, of course, for very valid reasons at this point. And we'll be going through all the markets. If you have feedback, let me know. Always important to go through that stuff. SPY reverse on 1 minute. Looking for that, we are. So it's probably down in our zone now. There we go. We've gone the low. Not quite there yet. I'd like a little bit lower, but it's around the right area. We need now to fill about above this and then something like that. I want to be more based. Yeah. If you are also interested in joining us, remember there are a few things going on later on this year. I'm coming to America September. We've got some amazing speakers, Vegas conference, fxevolution.com if you want to buy a ticket. I've got some big players coming. They will be insightful. You'll meet people in the community. It's going to be sweet. I think that's going to be a super awesome event at the Win. You don't have to stay at the Win, but if you do want to, I've got a special deal for people that want to stay there. So make sure you get in early. The other thing is that I'm going to go to Manhattan. I think I'm going to go to Miami. So if anyone's over there, anyone from Miami, if you have a sweet boat, let me know. Sweet boat? Anybody with a sweet boat, let me know. Anyway, I'll be going to Miami for a couple of days. Then I'll be jumping over to Cali as well. And I'll probably go to 1 or 2 other places. I know I'll be in Michigan as well for 1 or 2 days. So yeah, if you're interested, maybe I'll catch up with some people in the community, definitely organize some drinks or whatever. It'll be cool. Vegas is going to be sweet. I'm there for, I think, total of 4 days, maybe 5. So that'll be very, very cool. And I look forward to seeing some people in the community I've never seen before. So I look forward to it. Tom wants to go fishing in Florida. That might not be wrong. I don't mind it. Just chilling around, just floating around in the Miami Bay would make me happy too. Any of those things. All right. Will you be going to Texas? If I go to Texas, I have to wear a giant belt. I was thinking about Texas. I'm not sure. Palm Beach, Paul says. Cool. Whirlwind tour. It's going to be quick. It's going to be 2 weeks of chaos. I'll be making videos. I won't stop. Don't you worry. Marlin fishing is sweet in Miami. That's cool. I like that. We got big black marlin here in Australia. All right. I know you guys are sick of it. I'll catch you later. See you next Monday. People in the private community, see you soon. And if you watch the Daily Show, literally see you at the close. Bye for now.